It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
What is up, heroes of Dominion? My name is Charlie. This is Hero Wars Central, and today's video we're going to discuss Death is Just the Beginning, the basic heroic nesting doll event for Keira on the Hero Wars Facebook and web version of the game. And we're also going to discuss 6 ways to counter Keira, because with this event, a lot of people on your server are potentially going to be starting to level up Keira or finishing off their existing Keira, and you need to know how best to counter them. Now, this is your basic 4-task event. Log in, buy VIP, spend emeralds, and spend energy. You're going to be rewarded with Keira soul stones as well as some of these Keira dolls. I'll go ahead and put the annotation on screen now of what all can be found in the Keira dolls. But that's not why you all are here. You all are here to learn how to counter the hero that is Keira. Now, when you look at Keira's 4 skills, most of them hit every enemy, and this is going to be kind of the first thing that you can use to counter Keira. It's kind of a bonus tip. I'm not really going to go into it too much as far as a hard counter, because it is what it is. Whenever you're dealing with energy in Hero Wars, and I'm not going to go into it too much here as far as the specifics on how it all works, every time your hero takes damage, and I'm talking about any of your 5 heroes, they gain energy based on a percentage of their overall damage to health ratio. Most heroes only attack the front line, your tanks, maybe your heroes that are in the 2nd or 3rd position, and those heroes get charged very quickly. But if you have enemy heroes that are attacking every single hero on your team every round, then your team overall is going to be gaining a lot of energy. And if you have a way to stay alive against Keira's consistent area of effect. Now, with that little bit out of the way, I do want to talk about one of the Facebook and web specific mechanics that causes Aurora to be an effective counter to Keira. A little while ago, they made a change to the way the energy gain is accrued via a dodge. Now, this doesn't work on Hero Wars Mobile, but Aurora is the only dodge tank in the game, and the faster she dodges, the more she can use her ultimate ability. The more she uses her ultimate ability, the more she boosts the dodge chance of her entire team. Then, as her allies dodge, they gain additional energy faster without taking damage. And again, Keira does attack every enemy with every single attack, so you can kind of start to see this domino effect. And it's exacerbated by this ability right here. Keira's speed increases for 5 seconds, a 300% speed increase built into Keira's skills. If Aurora hasn't ulted by the time this ability procs, it certainly will during this ability window, and then it's all kind of downhill for there. And nobody's arguing how popular Aurora is right now. It seems like 2 out of every 3 teams uses Aurora as a tank. That's going to be kind of your first hard counter to Keira lineups, is just simply use Aurora as a tank, or really any dodge lineup, I guess. Another pretty significant counter that a lot of people don't think about is Yasmin. This is less of a direct hard counter than it is just a kind of a nice side benefit of Yasmin's toolkit. Obviously, once Yasmin ultimates for the first time, she's incredibly difficult to hit. When Dance of Death is active, Yasmin's critical hit chance and dodge are increased for 10 seconds. This is usually somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 to 90% crit and dodge chance, and Yasmin hits the hero that hit her last. Quite frequently, that's going to be an enemy Keira. It's the same thing as Aurora. We already discussed Aurora earlier on, but it is worth mentioning that if your Keira happens to trigger a Yasmin, then that Yasmin is going to be targeting your Keira and probably dropping her very quickly, and there's not much you can do about it. Now, kind of expanding on that a little bit further, if you are going up against a Keira team and you happen to use Tristan in your lineup, Tristan has a couple of abilities that helps you counter Keira as well. Not so much a hard counter, but definitely something that will help in the fight against her. First of all, you have this ability right here. Whenever the ally in front of Tristan gains energy, Tristan gains some of it as bonus energy. So if your allies in front of Tristan are gaining additional energy very quickly, whether it be an Aurora or just any other hero that seems to be taking on extra energy very quickly because of how quickly and frequently the Keira attacks, your Tristan is going to charge very quickly. Tristan's blue ability similarly will be effective against Keira, because this will target the enemy front line kind of in a way with a physical attack reduction. And since Keira's attacks are very frequent but lower damage, any reduction in her overall physical attack is going to cause some dramatic damage decreases in a Keira team. Tristan releases a demonic soul imprisoned in the demonic reliquary. It targets the nearest enemy and decreases their physical attack by 5 seconds. And then, of course, if there's at least one other blessed hero with Tristan, it will decrease physical attack of additional heroes behind. So if you just pair Tristan with one more blessed hero, Luther or Galahad, there's an assortment of blessed heroes in Hero Wars, then that will significantly lower her damage output. Let's talk a little bit about Alvanor. Now, Alvanor isn't a extremely popular hero, but since he is one of the best tanks for the guild raid Osh fight, we are going to start seeing more people having him leveled up. And Alvanor's ultimate ability blocks basic attack damage during the entire duration. And if he's charging very quickly, because he is in the front line, this ability is going to have a lot of uptime. And then you pair it with this Violet ability. Once the barrier disappears, it is triggered again on all Grove Keepers. So once you ult one time with Alvanor, all Grove Keepers, and I believe there are only 3, of course Alvanor, Kai, and then Thea, all 3 of those Grove Keepers will have this basic attack shield up quite a bit for the rest of the fight, if not 100%, I believe, unless you have a way to remove it. Of course, your Alvanor has to stay alive until he gets that first shield up, but Alvanor's got a great kit. He's a very tanky mage, being close to the front line. The 5th way to counter Keira teams is going to be either using Helios or the new hero Amira. Now, specifically, these 2 heroes, Helios and Amira, are only going to counter Keira teams if Keira is paired with a Sebastian or a Jet. These 2 heroes, Sebastian and Jet, have the unique ability to provide their allies with critical hit. Sebastian has a critical hit chance artifact weapon. There are other heroes that provide critical hit chance via their artifact weapon, but Sebastian is obviously the most prominent. And then you have the hero Jet that does a passive critical hit chance increase across the board to the allies. If either of these heroes are active with a Keira team, then Keira is going to have a little bit of critical hit chance, right? You take a look first at the new hero Amira. This green ability, Amira grants a wish to allies with the agility main stat. Keira is an agility stat hero, boosting their critical hit chance for 7 seconds. Sounds great. Sure it is. The requirement of this ability is that that agility hero had to have above 0 critical hit at the time of this activation. Having an artifact weapon active on Keira or Jet's passive ability active on Keira is enough to qualify this requirement. And then all critical hits end up missing the target. So Keira is going to be attacking very frequently, potentially getting a lot of critical hits, but every single one of those critical hits will miss. That's one way to counter Keira via critical hits. Alternatively, instead of outright reducing the damage from critical hits to 0, you could counter damage the critical hits using Helios's Violet Flaming Retribution ability. While the Solar Wind is active, this is green ability right here, each time Helios allies get a critical hit done to them, Helios's Flaming Retribution hits those critical hitting attackers with a little bit of magic damage. With the right pet on Helios or the right magic penetration support, Helios shreds any physical attacking teams that rely on critical hits. How about a bonus hard counter? Corvus. Corvus absolutely terrorizes Keira teams. And if you want to learn more about how and why, check out the video that's on screen now. It kind of goes over how Corvus is a natural counter to any hero that does area of effect damage. If you have not yet, but you found this video helpful, please consider clicking that like button. Don't forget we live stream every single weekday. I love you all. Good luck in Dominion.